What's up guys, it's your therapist Endymion, and recently HBO Max has decided to release 2 more fresh episodes of Velma out of its rectum for us to enjoy. So let's dive into the abyss and lose our minds together. Velma's latest episode is called Velma Kai, which is supposed to parody Cobra Kai, and it revolves around the high school's faculty deciding they need to teach the female students how to protect themselves in case they become the next murder victim for our secret serial killer or men in general. It also starts off immediately with a blatant bait opener showing one guy sucking off another guy's face while climbing him like a spider monkey. I know what Velma's showrunners are trying to do here, but it just comes off as lazy. Also, they show up again in the same scene but closer because they really want us to know, which, alright, we get it. Anyway, from here on, we see Shaggy, and you know what? I'm just gonna call him Shaggy from now on because Norville is a dumb name to begin with. I also don't like how Velma as a show is painting Shaggy to be this sort of loser incel creep who only helps Velma with her problems in hopes that she'll appreciate it and then let him sleep with her. Which is weird because Shaggy in every other adaptation is kind of a chick magnet. He's constantly shown to have little to no trouble attracting the ladies in other Scooby-Doo shows. He's like the original prototype for the phrase, "She let me hit 'cause I'm goofy," and that's why this version of Shaggy is so lame. Especially in the 5th episode where Shaggy only helps Daphne with her missing parents problem, not because he's nice, but because Shaggy knows that Velma likes Daphne. So by helping Daphne, he can learn to mimic Daphne's personality in hopes of molding himself into a version that Velma will find attractive. It comes off as creepy and really weird. If you can't be yourself around someone you like, it's clearly not going to work out. Never do this in real life, my friends. Anyways, we also learned that the school faculty is also having a mental health awareness pep rally in order to educate the students. There is one joke I chuckled at here where the squirrel mascot is giving out pamphlets about how important mental health is, and people are immediately just throwing it out. I guess it's commentary that's meant to evoke that we all live in a society or something deeper, but it's a nice gag, I won't lie. What is eye-roll worthy is that we next see that Shaggy's dad, who's a white guy, which I'm not sure if Shaggy is mixed or adopted, but anyways, it seems that like his son, Shaggy's dad has no respect from anyone in the school for like no reason. The kids immediately attack Shaggy's dad and make him seem like he's a useless addition to the school's overall structure.
And welcome to the Crystal Cove High School Mental Health Assembly. How y'all doing? Good?
Bad, you idiot! 2 of our friends had their brains removed by Fred Jones!
See, your dad is worse for teen mental health than waist trainers.
And some, you can't spell mental health without me!
You can't spell kill me without me either! Okay, that's enough.
What's odd is that before he speaks, everyone cheers on Shaggy's mom, who also works at the school. But once Shaggy's dad enters, who's a white man, immediately everything he says is just tossed aside and he's labeled an idiot for no reason. If you've watched any of my other godforsaken Velma videos, you know that Mindy Kaling loves to shame white men in her shows while also lusting after them. But attacking Shaggy's dad here is just tone deaf. He's just a goofy, nice guy who wants to see his students succeed, but they react to him like he's an enemy, which I guess he is because he's straight and also a white guy. Shaggy's dad also tries to inspire the students, but is immediately met with resistance, and then he's quickly shoved aside so that Shaggy's mom, who's not white, can grab the mic and move the assembly along.
Unless someone has a topper? No? Well, in addition to spending 3 minutes on mental health, the school board is requiring that all girls attend a women's self-defense class to protect themselves from any future serial killers.
Notice how no one interrupts her unlike her husband. That's interesting, isn't it? Then Shaggy's mom decides to say this.
Why do the boys have to take a Don't Murder Girls class?
Because I only have $50 in the budget to combat centuries of toxic masculinity.
And my eyes started to roll to the back of my head because this show can't go 2 minutes without making fun of men. There's a following scene where Velma is in prison and trying to talk to Fred, but she's again attacked by dark forces and Shaggy tries to snap her out of it.
No, don't kiss me. I'm already too confused.
Kissing me would confuse you? Wait, what?
This isn't about you right now. This made me laugh like last time.
But a kiss might awaken passions we've been too scared to admit. Why deprive ourselves that knowledge?
Oh my god, that was hilarious. Thank you, Nora. Hey, get your friends off me!
And like my previous video, which delved heavily into Mindy Kaling's weird fascination of white men and disdain for everything else, Velma yet again throws Shaggy's help aside and sees his feelings as nothing but a joke. We also have another joke in these 2 episodes where the show decides it hasn't met its dunking on white men quota and then says this.
Good news, right?
No, it's terrible news. It means my big clue is a dead end and Fred is probably innocent.
Yeah, but isn't it a little comforting to see a rich white guy get wrongly convicted for once?
I'm too distracted to enjoy it. I need to make things right with Daphne.
At this point, I was somewhat falling asleep, but knew I had to keep going so you guys wouldn't have to watch this. To be honest, these 2 episodes don't really move the plot forward in any meaningful way. They're mostly spent on the defense tournament for the female students and Velma needing to rank the hottest girls in the school in order to find out which girls need protection the most. In a lot of ways, Velma feels like She-Hulk, or as I like to call it, the show people only watched because Daredevil was in it. Velma, like She-Hulk, is just a show where its actual overarching plot was basically pointless, and the actual attention was given to the catty jokes and yes girl boss moments, but whereas every other Marvel show or movie moves the plot forward in some meaningful way, She-Hulk was a pointless watch that added nothing really to the universe. Velma is a lot like that too, cause the actual plot of who's the serial killer or what happened to the parents of certain characters may seem interesting on paper, but in reality it's mostly just a show that's an excuse for the writers to project their stupid ideas into. It's also becoming ever more apparent that this show really needs Scooby-Doo in it. Shaggy and Scooby are a great pair because they feed off of each other's good vibes and idiotic mentalities. Shaggy without Scooby is like Biggs without Wedge, or Pinky without Brain, or Jerry without George. There's a reason why this character archetype works so well, but when you decide to only have half of that equation in your show, the results are, well, this. Anyway, eventually another girl is found murdered, and because Fred was in jail while it happened, it basically clears his name of any wrongdoing and he's released. Immediately upon leaving prison, Fred meets Velma and is asked to rank the top 5 hottest girls so that Velma can decide who needs police protection. And Fred continues to be one of the only fun characters in the show who isn't self-loathing, and the animation here on how Fred decides is actually pretty good too.
Hey, Fred. Wow, you look good after jail. And you're way less stabbed to death than I expected.
Thanks. You look... Why am I here?
I need your help ranking the 5 hottest girls at Crystal Cove High.
Yeah, I don't know. I did that for the science fair last year and got suspended.
Your entry was called From Freud to Young, an exploration in horniness. But it's fine. The police need the list to keep hot girls safe.
Oh, so like charity work? Okay. But if this doesn't help restore my public image as a good guy, I'm gonna be pissed. Alright. Yes. Yes.
Daphne, Olive, Gigi, Beckett, and Kimmy? But Kimmy's so sweet. Wait, is it an interview thing?
No, it's a huge cans thing.
But of course, this is Velma we're talking about, so immediately after this she decides that Fred needs to understand feminism and then hands him a gender ideology book. What's interesting here is that Fred is lusted over by Velma since he's kind of a handsome womanizer. And once Fred reads the gender equality book, he decides to visit Velma at her house with flowers.
Yes, for me. Fred? I think you meant to send this to Daphne next door.
No, Velma, wait! I'm here because I want you.
To be the before picture in another diet pill scan? I mean, at least you're asking this time.
No, that book you gave me opened my eyes to your inner beauty.
Wait, really?
surprised as you are, but what can I say? That book broke my brain, so let's make the best of this reverse Beauty and the Beast nightmare, right?
Wait, what?
Anyway, want to go to Handstuff Point?
Fred, while I'm glad you've learned to appreciate inner beauty.
Oh, yes. Speak your mind, baby.
Right, well, I also prefer inner beauty. And yes, up until right now, I found you irresistible. But now I just find you gross.
What? How? You know I'm rich, right?
Like, I once sat through an entire opera, Rich.
Sorry, Fred, but for what it's worth, I am keeping the picture you sent me. For plane rides.
Suddenly, the guy she's wanted the entire show is finally into her, but since he's now in tune with his gender equality side due to the book, Velma is no longer interested. Which is kind of a deep cut of a joke because I wonder if the writers knew what they were doing here. The fact that Velma is into Fred when he's not aware of gender ideology but completely dismisses him once he is in tune with all of that nonsense, well, it kind of speaks volumes. It's basically saying that women are only attracted to men when they actually act like men. But once these men start to embrace feminism, they become repulsive. I guess the lesson here, boys, is to embrace your masculinity and never read a gender ideology book and instead lift weights, which I agree you should do just that anyway. And remember to do compound workouts like bench presses, deadlifts, and squats too. Reject the gender ideology book and pour yourself into the gym. Trust me, it's worth it. There is another character besides Fred that makes me chuckle too, which is the sheriff. I think it's cause he's kind of based and oblivious to the made up problems of these young teens. There's one joke where Velma brings up the patriarchy and the sheriff says this.
Here's your dumb list of hot girls. Of course, if society exerted half this effort teaching girls not to be slaves to the patriarchy, we wouldn't have this problem in the first place.
Boys don't like to know it all, Velma. Wait. Oh my God, that's it.
Yeah, I chuckled in that clip while recording it because it's funny. The sheriff guy also returns later on in the episode too, and he's just like a fun character.
Alright, everybody, we got ourselves an official tender moment. A woman is experiencing the sacred miracle of childbirth.
Look at that! Oh, she's crowning!
Actually, I should probably see this too. Always wondered how it worked.
Come on, fellas, it's show and tell time.
Wait, no, where are you going?
Eventually, near the end of the 4th episode, there's a woman giving birth on the sidewalk, but that's not important. What is, however, is that Velma realizes her efforts of making the hot girls ugly so that they don't die, it kind of falls on deaf ears. And we're treated to a scene where these hot girls, who may I add are teenagers, which is just another weird fetish angle that this show does because it's adults playing teens, these young women start to dance and sing and lure all the bystanders away so the random pregnant lady can give birth on the sidewalk, which is a weird and bizarre thing to be happening in the first place, but here we are, I guess.
Please help me. If we can get these students out of the way, the ambulance could drive up on the grass.
Sure, but no one's moving, Velma. A lady is giving birth in front of school. This is literally why social media exists.
Stop! Or at least get my ring light into the trunk. We just have to give them something better to look at.
Wait, you're not thinking.
Yes, I need you to muster all your sexiness and lure everyone away with a sexy dance. Like a shimmy into a bouncy thing? I'm not a dancer. Just show me ass cheeks going in a different direction.
And what? You'll just watch and silently judge us? Pass. Our sexy dancing is for ourselves. And once to raise money for a dog that needed hip surgery.
Wait, that's it! That's the answer! Just like how you're all women who don't want to own shorts that cover your butt, I'm a woman who doesn't want to own it. And one isn't better than the other.
Whoa! Hold on. So you're saying while we're all juicy asses,
I'm all sass and glasses, baby!
Velma, hurry up and do something!
Yes, of course. Girls, let's do a respected yet equally valid thing.
There's also a subplot where Shaggy basically becomes a therapist and forgets to visit the prison at a crucial point, which ends up rallying the convicts into rioting, and they kind of break free and burn part of the city down. But surprisingly, this entire scenario kind of just happens and no one really mentions it. So I guess it's more important that these teen girls find out who's more hot than the others instead of, capturing and containing literal murderers and such, but it's okay. I'm sure it'll work out in the end because, like She-Hulk, nothing in this show's plot will ultimately matter in the end anyway. It's just a convenient plot vehicle that allows the writers to push jokes about white guys sucking and pushing women onto one another in order to boost ESG scores in the end, I guess. Velma continues to be a fascinating mess of self-destruction. It also still doesn't feel like a Scooby-Doo show in any way whatsoever. You can really tell, especially in these latest episodes, that if you change the names of each character along with their designs to something more original, nothing about this show would change really. The Scooby-Doo license is quite literally being manipulated by these people so that they could will this abomination into existence. It still lacks any originality, identity, or reason for existing other than to piss people off and inspire hate watching.
Wait for me, okay? Unless you feel like getting me a snow cone and immediately coming back.
Sure, I don't have anything else scheduled for right now. Oh, crap!
Well, 10-minute rule. Norval's not coming. Guess I'll have to channel my childhood trauma into becoming a lawyer and helping my imprisoned brothers appeal their convictions.
No, nobody leaves. Why does everyone think they can stand me up?
Okay, riot it is.
Son, I hate to say it, but you're not ready for the Guardian. With medium power comes medium responsibility.
I know, I'm sorry.
But that's why I'll keep watching Velma, so that you don't have to. And like Velma's bizarre hallucinations, this show continues to linger on like an untreated STD. Velma is currently 4 episodes in at this point, and to be honest, not much of anything important has happened. And it is most definitely a nightmare of an adaptation that will continue to cause controversy. And don't worry, I'll be there to watch it so that we can all laugh together. And remember to hit the gym because a strong body will result in an even stronger mind. Trust me. And with that, it's time I go play some video games and drink even more coffee, and I'll see you in the next one.